Shalom, Gabe Greenberg here, Rabbi of Congregation Beth Israel in New Orleans, Louisiana, learning with you this week, as we do every week, the commentary of the Netziv on the weekly Torah portion. This week, Parshat Terumah happens to be my bar mitzvah Parsha. This is Exodus chapter 26. We'll be looking at verse 15. This is a relatively short and simple piece in the Netziv. I like it because it reflects one aspect of the Netziv's commentary, which is that he is willing at times to go against traditional readings of the verse if he feels that the logic and grammar of the verse or phrase compels him in a certain direction. So here the Torah is describing the building of the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the wilderness. And we're going to learn now about the planks that were used, the krashim, to support the top of the tabernacle, the pieces of cloth, the yiriots. So, verse 15, V'asita et hakrashim lamishkan, you should make the planks for the tabernacle, atse shitim omdim. These should be planks of shitim wood, which I think are cedar, that are standing up, or that are standing. So, interestingly, the verse says, V'asita et ha-krashim. You should make the boards, with the hey as a definitive article. And this is different than earlier elements that had been listed in the Parsha, where there is no hey hayidiyah. There isn't a phrase which says you should make the yiriot, or you should make so only by the krashim does it intro them with the hey. So Rashi picks up on this and says, Hayalalomar va'asita krashim. The verse should have said to Moshe and the Israelites, you should make planks, introducing the concept of planks. Not you should make the planks, because the planks had not been mentioned previously. Mahu hakrashim. So why does the verse tell us you should make the planks? And then Rashi brings a midrashic idea. Me'otan ha'omdim u'meyuchadin lekach. You should make them of those trees which were prior prepared and were standing for this reason. Yaakov Avinu nata arazim b'Mitzrayim. Jacob had planted cedars in Egypt. So this now harkens back hundreds of years to when Jacob was living. Ukeshemet, and when he died, Tziva levanav lahalotami mahem kshiatzu mitzrayim. He said, I planted these cedar trees. When you and your descendants will leave Egypt, you should cut them down and use that wood. In the future, when God will command your descendants to make a mishkan, use that wood. Make sure that they're prepared for you to make. Okay, so that's what Rashi quotes that midrash, which is very, very interesting, and basically saying that this ha-krashim, the planks, are a reference to the fact that there was wood, there were trees standing and ready for this usage that Jacob had planted hundreds of years earlier. So it's a very nice story, a very nice midrash. But the Netziv goes in another direction. He says, ha-krashim, the planks, krashim mibaye. It should have said planks, not the planks, just like Rashi said. And he says, va'ayin perush Rashi. So first look to see what Rashi says, and that's the answer we just read. But then the Netziv says, but here's another idea. Lefi hapshat, this is the most simple, straightforward understanding. Be'asher yadua, she'i efshar, liyiriyot hamishkan shiamdu yafeh. We all know that it would have been impossible for the cloth top of the Mishkan, which was sort of the exterior of the Mishkan, for those yiriyot, those strips of cloth, that they sheyamdu yafeh, it would be impossible for them to lay or rest well, im lo sheyismachu otam bekrashim, were they not lying on planks. There would need to be something to lift them up. Mishum hachi ksiv shiyu osama krashim kach. Therefore, the verse says that you should make these planks for that reason, for the Yiriot to lie on them. What's the Netziv saying? Basically, that if we had read earlier in Parshat Terumah, we saw that there's going to be this cloth top that's going to lay on top of the Mishkan. We would have naturally, there would have technically said, wait, how are they going to lay on there? They're going to have to lay on something. Something will have to buttress them. We would have just logically said, oh, there's got to be some sort of undergirding, some sort of plank, something beneath them. And so we're already expecting the Torah to tell us that there's going to be such a thing. So here, where it says, V'asita et hakrashim, you should make the planks. What's the hey hayidiyah, the planks? The planks that we as the reader expected the Torah to tell us to make. There had to be something to buttress the Yiriot, and now we see it's these krashim. And the verse comes to tell us, and you should make them out of cedar wood. It's a very nice idea, and it also implies that the krashim, these planks, are constitutive, are really just part and helping of the main essence of the Mishkan, which is the external structure of the cloth and what you would see. And that supports the general idea of the Netziv in this Parsha. He believes, as he said in verse 1 of chapter 26, where the verse says, Ve'eta Mishkan ta'aseh eser yiriot, that the Mishkan will be constructed, you should make 10 of these cloth strips. The Netziv said there, Hayiriot atzman hem hamishkan. The Yiriot themselves are the Mishkan. That's really what we think about. And everything else, like the krashim, the planks which are going to help support, those just serve to help. But it's really about the external Yiriot. So this goes to serve that as well. So a nice brief Netziv, which helps display some of his skills in reading closely the verses and just saying, well, the logic and force of this Parsha and these verses say this must mean that the Hey, Ha-Krashim, the Hey Yidiyah, simply means to tell us that these are the planks which we would have already expected. As always, a pleasure learning with you. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great week. We'll see each other again next week.